from the city of Los Altos, here to answer questions. I don't know if anyone else has joined you from the city or not, Anthony, if you're
Just me.
on your own for your presentation. So we welcome you. Thank you so much for being willing to join us this morning, and look forward to our conversation at the end.
Absolutely. This is the most I've gotten dressed up in a couple weeks now. So I am wearing a dress shirt with shorts on. So the new attire of Zoom. So I have a quick presentation. I'll send the final copy to Kim and Nicole, and they can send it out to all of you, because there are a lot of active links that I put into the presentation that if you do try and click on during the presentation, I don't think it'll work. So I'm going to run through it. This is obviously who I am, my contact information. The most important thing that I want you guys to know is that I am a resource from the city. So you have my phone number and my email. Working remotely, so I'm available to talk over the phone or send emails probably any time of the day. Right now it seems like all of us are on the clock 24/7, so don't hesitate to reach out to me. And then at the bottom of the page, I did include the link to the City of Los Altos resource page for all COVID-19 issues. And then the bottom link is the City of Los Altos business resource page. So we created a business resource page that has a lot of loans and grants, as well as the latest guidance from the County of Santa Clara. Okay. This is my disclosure for this presentation. I am not the seer of all seen things, knower of all known things. I tried my best to aggregate a lot of information into one presentation, but to my knowledge and to your knowledge and your benefit, you should go seek help from a financial professional before making any large loan or grant decisions for your organizations. So I do not take full responsibility for all of those. I'm indemnifying myself, essentially. I put together a little timeline of what has happened for Santa Clara County and specifically Los Altos. On March 12th, we were actually ahead of the game. We declared a state of emergency as a city. And in doing so, that gave a little more power to Chris Jordan to be able to make some decisions in real time before needing to go to council. So when you declare a state of emergency, you also are eligible for more benefits and some different things like that. So it was a smart decision to get ahead of the game on that. The following Monday, the Santa Clara County issued the shelter-in-place order and the closure of non-essential businesses through April 7th. And then, as you guys know, a couple days ago, they did extend the shelter-in-place order and provided some clarifications on essential businesses and non-essential businesses through May 3rd. So as of right now, we are in a shelter-in-place until May 3rd at the earliest. I have not heard anything about the state expanding the shelter-in-place yet, but we may see something come out, I think, next week. That would be my guess. So the shelter-in-place order directive means that you must stay at home and you can only leave your home for essential activities, to work for an essential business, to perform minimum basic operations for either an essential or non-essential business, and then for essential travel. And you cannot host or attend any gatherings, and you must maintain at least 6 feet of separation from other people. And then this is the essential business definition from the County of Santa Clara. The longer list is about 25 plus, but we simplified it down to really the major ones that are eligible. So this is the list that's on our website that the County of Santa Clara is kind of pushing out as their condensed list of essential businesses. The biggest thing from the newest order from the County of Santa Clara was that all essential businesses must create, post, and implement a social distancing protocol, which if you are working on an essential business and you do not have it up, you do need to have it up by today. So please make sure that if you are a bank, grocery store, restaurant, anything that is currently open and falls under those essential businesses, that you have the social distancing protocol created for your business, posted at all entrances, and provided to all employees. I know that the reason Captain Katie Krause from the police department isn't on the call is that she's actually going to visit our grocery stores and some essential businesses this morning just to do some verification with them and verify that they do have something up. As of right now, we are not looking to fine or cite any businesses. We are just trying to make sure that everybody's meeting county guidelines and that everybody has the protocol or is working it. The biggest caveat is that essential businesses must maximize the number of employees who can work from home. That's difficult for restaurants and grocery stores, but for banks, they are looking to try to have a lot of banking done remotely. I think that was the big target there. And then businesses with both essential and non-essential components must scale down operations to only the essential components. However, retail can continue to sell non-essential products if the majority of their products are part of the essential business. So non-essential business clarifications were made in the latest order, which was actually very helpful because it did clarify that non-essential businesses must cease all activities at their facilities except to provide minimum basic operations, keep the business site safe and secure, ensure that employees are able to work remotely. And then finally, the big one is that you can provide for the delivery of existing inventory to residents or businesses. So that was an important distinction because I did talk to an assistant district attorney who had told us before the clarification that retail businesses were not allowed to deliver their existing inventory from themselves. In the actual FAQs and in an email answer that we got to a question to the county, they did say that you can deliver existing inventory to residents or businesses if you are a non-essential business. But that means that you can only sell your existing inventory. So you can't be purchasing additional product and trying to sell that as well. You can only sell the existing inventory that you have in your business right now. Okay. Right here on the right is a copy of the social distancing protocol created by the County of Santa Clara. The enforcement of the order, Los Altos Police Department will visit essential businesses to verify they did post the social distancing protocol, as I mentioned. Right below here, you can see an email address as well as a phone number. These are from the County of Santa Clara, and it's a little confusing because if you do call this phone number, you will get transferred to a voicemail that makes it sound like it's only for complaints. It is for complaints about businesses that are not in compliance with the new county order, but it's also for questions. So if any businesses you know or your business has a question, you can feel free to email or call them directly to get clarification. Because at the end of the day, the Los Altos Police Department and the City of Los Altos, we are just operating from the county's directives. So we don't have the most clarity on what exactly the intentions of the order were. So going to the county directly would be a good idea. So I'm going to touch a little bit on the financial resources that are available. This is not a comprehensive list in any way, shape, or form. These are the programs that I see having the most benefit to businesses right now, especially if you're trying to quickly get money, and a lot of these resources are from the federal government. The EDIL, the Economic Disaster Injury Loan, is available online. You can apply to receive up to $2 million as a 30-year, 3.75% interest loan. And in addition to that, you could get an advance of $10,000 available pretty much immediately, from what I understand, if you're approved for the program. The big one is the Paycheck Protection Program. This, if you go online, if you read anything, you'll see that right now it's kind of chaos because the program did go live today. So it went live this morning, and as of right now, I believe US Bank and Bank of America are the only large financial institutions that are in the program, as well as a lot of smaller banks that are in credit unions that are a part of the program. The big key to this one is that it does convert to a grant if you use funds for payroll costs, interest on mortgages, rent, and utilities. So if you do spend your money on payroll costs, I believe it's 75%. I would check with your lender if you do look to do that. Then that might turn into a grant and it wouldn't be a loan. However, it is a short loan period from what I understand. I called SBA yesterday and they did say that it was at 1%, so a low interest loan, but it is a very short period of time that the loan lasts for. Now, I don't know that everything that we heard yesterday was correct because everything's changing daily. So I would go to the bottom here to get linked to this PowerPoint. I believe it's sba.gov/paycheck protection/find. You can find a lender that is actually taking in applications at this point. And below it is a little calculator that I found on another webinar that provides you an idea of how much money you could request through this program based upon your business size. From the state, there is one major program. It's through the iBank loan program. You can receive up to $2.5 million as a 7-year loan. The loan is guaranteed by the state government and distributed at the local level through NorCal Financial Development Corporation. I couldn't find any way to apply for this online. The only way to apply for it was to call them. So this is their phone number right here. Now, this is the one grant at a local level that I've been able to find for Los Altos businesses. It's the Silicon Valley Community Foundation Small Business Relief Fund. It's a grant that received funding from local businesses and has largely been supported by Silicon Valley Strong. I have received some feedback that people haven't been getting responses and don't really know where to go for this grant. I looked on their website, I searched it up and down, I sent Erica an email. I haven't heard anything about how to apply. The only thing on their website indicates that you do need to email her directly at ekwood@siliconvalleycf.org. The biggest thing I want you guys to be aware of is that there are a lot of loan scams right now. SBA on their call yesterday did tell everyone they will never contact you directly to ask for payment during this time through the application process. And please go to official financial institutions to make sure that you are not being the subject of a loan scam. So make sure that you connect with your financial institution that you have a relationship with so you don't get scammed out of any money during this time. This act just got passed. It's the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, and it provides employees with paid sick leave or expanded family and medical leave for specified reasons related to COVID-19. There's some information right here that you can link to, along with some FAQs, but there are some requirements for employers. So if you are an employer, make sure that you read through and understand that you are required to provide a certain amount of leave to employees if they meet the specified reasons related to COVID-19. So make sure you take a look at that. And then I did want to touch on what the city of Los Altos is doing. We're not going to watch the 15-minute YouTube video here, but if you want to, it'll be attached in the slides. It's a little update from Chris Jordan during the March 24th council meeting. The biggest things that we're doing and that I'm doing is I'm connecting with Chamber, Lava, La Pod, and the town crier on a regular basis. I'm working with individual employees, so that's why we're doing this. And you all have my contact information. I know most of you pretty well, so if you do have questions, I'm more than happy to reach out to you individually. A couple other things that I do think that we're doing are pretty cool is that we do have a community support hotline. So we have a hotline that's monitored from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. One is specifically tailored for seniors that need support, and the other is for anyone who needs support or has any questions. Some other things we're doing is the community morale campaigns, like the tree lighting that we've been doing in downtown. We relit the palm tree lights and have those up to show support for the community, along with some other things that should be coming soon that you'll hopefully be seeing on the roadways. Other things we're doing is updating our websites and social media. You had a link to our websites earlier in the presentation. On next Tuesday, I believe at 5 o'clock, we will be having a virtual town hall with the mayor and our city manager. And we invite you guys to sign up here if you are interested in participating, to ask questions to them about what we're doing as a city. And then I would urge you to sign up for our weekly city manager updates, because those are the best ways to stay up to date on what the city is doing with this. Oh, no. How do I? Uh-oh. Let's see. Do I just. There we go. And then here's a list to the resources from Santa Clara County, the continuation order, the social distancing protocol form, the FAQs, some guidance. And then the county has put together a new dashboard for information on the cases of COVID in the county. So you can take a look at that. And then finally, there's my information again. Make sure that you copy that down if you don't have it so you can get a hold of me. And I think that's it for the presentation. If we want to go to questions, Nicole.
So again, if you have any questions, please type them into the group chat, and then we will be sharing that with Anthony to answer for you.
While we're waiting for group questions, I had one that was emailed in previously, so let me pull that up. Okay, this question is related to why are some retailers allowed to do curbside pickup? There are independents, such as larger box stores like Office Depot and Best Buy and Mountain View that do this, and then other stores up the peninsula and in the East Bay that are listed here by name.
So under the previous order, businesses that supported essential businesses were classified as essential businesses themselves. So often most staples were all considered businesses because they were supporting banks and grocery stores and restaurants with their supplies. So they were able to do curbside pickup directly because they were an essential business. Now, under the new order that was on March 31st, they did remove all of those businesses that support essential businesses from the list. So those businesses can no longer serve pickup for any of their services. They are only able to do it through delivery because they're no longer essential services. I know essential, non-essential is super confusing, so I understand that there's a lot of confusion about that, but a lot of retailers were able to claim that they were essential even though they weren't previously, but that's kind of been cleared up with the newest order.
And I think specifically this retailer was asking, now that delivery is possible for retailers with current inventory, that's a pretty big shift actually in some ways for our retailers.
Yes, so retailers can deliver according to Santa Clara County. So they did tell us that non-essential businesses can clear out their inventory and still do it that way. However, they still need to abide by the 6-foot guidelines, and they need to make sure that they only have employees in the store who are critical to the delivery. So a small retailer can't have 6 people working in their store right now to try to deliver one package. It's I think biggest key is common sense with the order and making sure that you're not doing anything that would draw attention or suspicion. And I was sent a text from our PIO to make sure that I do mention social distancing is mandatory with the new order. So it's no longer encouraged. I believe under the previous order it was just encouraged, but now it's mandatory. And so as a result, you could receive citations if you do not comply with social distancing. I do know that one of my friends did get cited in Fremont while he was hiking with his housemates, and they were not complying. So make sure you stay compliant. Nicole, do you want me to read through the questions?
Yeah,
Sure, go
I
ahead.
can read them to you, or Kim can read them. Let's see. So this one is from Cam Chan. Let's see. What is the difference between the 10K grant and the SBA loans?
I'm not sure what the 10K grant is referring to. The $10,000 advance. So the $10,000 advance is available, but that would still be a loan. So it's not necessarily a grant from the SBA. It would just be that they provide cash to you up front so you can pay rent, pay your employees, and make sure that you have cash on hand. But it would still qualify as a loan under the economic disaster injury loan.
Okay, this question is from Grail. Do you have to call the police if you have an essential business and no order?
In no order. Are do you have to call if you have an essential business and there's no social distancing protocol? Is that what I think I'm understanding?
I'm not sure. Grail, I'm gonna unmute you for a second so you can ask your question.
Yeah.
Hi, Anthony. Or I've been walking around town and I see the restaurants are posting orders in the window. And I had sold a business, it's a dry cleaners in town, and they're deemed essential, but do they need an order? They're new to town. So like, do they need to have that posted in their windows also, or is that just for restaurants?
So that is for all essential businesses. So if you are an essential business and you are open, you do need the social distancing protocol form in the window.
And should they call the police or can they print that out, or how does that go?
So all you need to do is go to the link that's in the presentation.
We also sent it in our e-news yesterday, Grail. If you
Okay.
received the e-news from us, there's a link to the form in that
Okay.
newsletter.
And so if you just fill out that form, it's a PDF that's fillable, and make
Mhm.
sure you meet all of those guidelines, then you're good to go. So you don't
Okay.
need to contact the police. And like I said, they're working on education more than enforcement right now.
Okay.
All right, so from Gay Kraus, some of the cleaners are essential and others are not.
I'm not sure about that. I do think that it did include dry cleaners as essential businesses. I would assume that maybe some dry cleaners are just choosing to close during this time. That's also a possibility. All businesses that are essential don't need to stay open if they'd like to close. So that could be maybe the confusion why some are open and why some are not, I think.
Okay. Another question from Gay Kraus. Do you think many small businesses in Los Altos will no longer be able to stay in business beyond COVID-19, even with these supports?
I think that that is a difficult question to answer. I would hope that all of our businesses are able to recover. All of these supports, especially the payroll protection program, is trying to get employers to retain their employees. I would hope that all businesses are able to recover their, and from what I've heard yesterday on the SBA call was that these programs that we're seeing are just the first set of programs. And I heard that the House of Representatives is working on another loan that they're going to have available to small businesses because of some feedback on the Paycheck Protection Program going to larger employers. that would be the next wave of resources that are available for businesses. So I hope that everyone can recover.
Okay, another question from Grail. Since realtors were deemed essential, can we go to our offices?
So real estate was deemed essential in the latest order, along with, I believe, notaries and title companies and everything that supports real estate. You can go to your office, but I do want to caution you that, once again, the biggest key is that if you can work remotely, you should and you need to work remotely. So if you are a realtor and you have a laptop and you're able to help people uh, remotely, you should do that in order to make sure that you're not going into the office.
Okay, here's a question from Sherry. I assume this is Sherry Scott of Sherry Scott Designs. Hi, Anthony. Did you get an answer regarding trash pickup for closed businesses?
So the one thing I did connect with Mission Trails on trash pickup for closed businesses. They did want to tell people that if you do have questions, you can reach out to them. The municipal code for Los Altos does require a minimum trash pickup for all businesses. So I would direct all questions about trash pickup to Mission Trails because they would have the best information. That's what I've heard from our engineering department.
Okay, a question from Faye. Are gardeners considered essential?
Gardeners are not considered essential unless they are needed to protect the safety and habitability of residences or essential businesses. So gardeners can come under this order in our interpretation in the city of Los Altos once a month, but they cannot be coming weekly to do routine maintenance. They need to only be coming once a month to really focus on trying to make sure that the weeds don't grow too high or that there's no issues, but they can't be coming to maintain the aesthetic during this time under the new order.
And that include like Los Altos Hills if you need fire abatement, things like that, right?
Correct. So fire abatement or safety and habitability, however you define that for a home.
Okay. From Scott Hunter of Los Altos Village Association, any info on California business tax payment waivers?
I thought Scott was going to give me a softball question, and he gave me the hardest question here. I have not heard anything on that yet. If someone has more information, they can correct me. My guess is that something will be coming out. From what I've heard is that the loans that are up on the screen right now and a lot of the programs were the initial emergency response to kind of put out the fire as best as they could. And then the state is going to be working on the more long-term solutions like that, I think, probably in the coming week. That would be my guess. But I can look into that and I'll send an email to Kim and Nicole with the answer.
Okay. And Carol, I will get to your question in a second, but I saw another follow-up question about gardeners. So this is from Cindy Murphy of El Camino Health. If gardeners show up, who will be fined, the gardener or the homeowner?
My understanding is that both would get fined. So that would be my understanding because you requested a gardener to come out. So I would make sure to communicate with your gardener to make sure that they don't come out to your home if they're coming more than once a month. Like I said on one of the slides here, the enforcement of the order. So most complaints are probably going to end up going to the Santa Clara County hotline, but I do know that most complaints right now are still going to the city of Los Altos, to Los Altos Police. So an important note that actually came up yesterday from the city, and I'll touch on it for a quick second, is that construction was clarified in the order as to what is allowed. And I do have a copy of the city of Los Altos's interpretation of the construction order. So what I'm going to do is I'll send that out to Kim, Nicole, Scott, and Shannon so they can distribute that to you guys, because right now the majority of calls coming into the police are about construction sites that are still operating that are not deemed essential under the new order.
Okay. This is from Carol Garston of Nature Gallery. Can a flyer be made and posted around downtown and on Nextdoor, etc., with a website link for people to know what businesses are selling online or video selling?
Carol, that's a great question. I don't want to pass on that opportunity if we could to talk about what is in the works. If Kim or Scott could just give me a nod that we're okay talking about it. Yeah, okay. Scott seems unsure. So there is in the works a website that will try to aggregate all of the information about restaurants and retailers, as well as other businesses that offer services, and how you can support them digitally. So that is in the works. It's a collaboration between the Chamber, Lava, and the city. I'm doing a little bit on it. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I'm not doing a whole lot. I'm just doing a lot of support for Kim and Scott and Nicole and Shannon and Oscar. So that is in the works. And Carol, we will send that out once it's live. I'm hoping that we can hopefully have it live in the next week or so. If Scott gives me a little head nod that seems okay. Yeah, next week or so, we're hoping to have it live so that way we can support retailers that way.
And Grail had asked what's the hotline numbers, and it looks like that's up on that slide right now, right?
Yes, so that is the hotline number. And feel free to ask all questions about businesses under the order, or the biggest thing that I do want to tell business owners is that this hotline is also available for employees to call. So there actually has been a significant amount of employees that have called in their employers that are requiring them to come into work, even though they're not essential businesses. So be aware that anyone can call in and report activities by essential businesses.
Okay. Murthy, sorry, I don't know who Murthy is. If we do not have a website, how are we letting customers know we have an Insta and Facebook page and we do gift cards and drop-offs to UPS?
Is this, is that a question about an individual retailer or the website that we've discussed for everyone?
Oh, it's from, sorry, Gitan Boutique. And actually, let me go ahead and just unmute you real quick, and you can ask your question. Go ahead.
Oh, the question I had was, I know I got a letter from, I think Kim sent out a email, and she said, register yourself, but I don't have a website. So I couldn't register because you have to have a website there. And so I couldn't go further, letting you guys know that yes, I do not have a website, but I can still do gift cards and drop-offs and UPS and stuff like that. I have Instagram and a Facebook page, so I'm not sure how Gitan Boutique can go further on this. If Chamber of Commerce and Los Altos is helping small businesses.
I think you're talking about the form that we had sent.
Yeah, exactly, the form.
Yes.
And I couldn't register in the form because I do not have a website, and
okay.
So it did not let me register.
Okay, I understand sometimes that form has been a little bit glitchy. It should work that if you don't have a field, it should be able to go through, but I understand that sometimes we've been having some issues with that. So we'll go ahead, we'll reach out to you after, and we'll just take down information so that it's put
perfect. Thank you.
I apologize about the issue of that link.
Okay.
Let's see. So another question from Uncommon Threads. Will the slides be available elsewhere? I joined late. Yes. So we have been doing a recording of this, and we did get slides from Anthony. Later on, today. I'll be posting it on this link on our website. If you registered through our website, I will also email that to you as well.
Hey, Nicole, let me send you the updated slides with the paycheck protection application because it was
Great.
online last night.
Yeah, so just give me a couple hours here. They should be up on our website before noon.
Perfect.
And I think that's, from Carol Garson again from Nature Gallery. Will there be another meeting like today's meeting scheduled again regularly?
I'm happy to, Carol, you know you have my information if you need me directly, but I'm more than happy to host these on a weekly or bi-weekly basis through the COVID-19 situation because I think the best thing to do might be to connect with, I'll connect with Scott and Kim offline and see if we want to do them weekly or every time that the order is adjusted, because I know that that's when the most confusion happens, which is what happened on Wednesday when the new order was announced. So I'll coordinate with them.
Yeah, that sounds great. It may make sense to do every 2 weeks or something. We can sort that out and we'll let you know, Carol.
Okay, I think we're up to the end of our questions. Again, if you have a question, go ahead and type it into the chat. Otherwise, probably be wrapping up.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. If you need anything, let me go ahead and make sure I end on, oh man, I had it all set up. Let me make sure I end on my information. So take a picture of this. If you don't have it and you don't know how to reach me, this is Scott. Thank you for the fake picture. I appreciate it. And please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have, and I'm happy to do this weekly if you guys want and provide updates on what the city is doing during this situation.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. And you can't see it, but in the chat, you have lots of thank yous from Sherry, Kim Cranston, Grail, Carol, lots of thank yous.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you
Bye,
so much,
everyone.
Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony. Hang in there.
You guys do too.